get that shirt?
I bought it. I thought, I didn't know what the situation was going to be, so I was like, oh,
Did you get lost?
We took a
You took a left turn?
we
And I saw this and I thought, oh, that's pretty sick.
I wonder if there's a dry shirt.
She just got my ass here in record time. I just sprinted.
Karen sprinted. Wet t-shirt contest. Who is I about to text to come on the show today? Like, we have no guests booked today.
Okay.
I don't know what to do. Oh, Molly. Molly's coming up.
Yeah, Molly's coming.
It's Emma?
How'd you go, Karen?
Hey, where the hell have you been?
Did you haul ass to get back here?
You took a wrong turn. You guys, wait. You guys are doing the white t-shirt contest?
I am.
Oh, God. No, my
Do you want
eyes.
Karen, do you want a different shirt?
Yeah, you know what? That actually would probably be smart. Yeah, that'd be great. Thank you.
How many shirts do you have?
To blend. Okay, okay, wait. No. What's
Okay.
her name? She brought.
there's a stack of shirts
She said she brought new stuff for us.
Okay.
So, hold on. Sorry.
But they're all white. Do you want it?
Yeah, that'd be great. Yeah. Oh, you know what?
What
she
size
brought,
is the
oh,
red
you
one?
can do small.
Okay, okay, so you don't have, you have more
She
than
brought
one.
those and the. Or maybe just it was. That's fine.
It was just one.
Thank you.
Adidas?
Red is gonna look bad though, don't you
Is it
think?
medium?
Yeah.
Sure.
Are you sure about red in here?
What about-
Let's see.
No, mics are on, guys.
I don't know.
No? Jasmine just said mics are on.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, they got all that? Yeah.
Good morning, track and field fans. We are here outside in Eugene, Oregon, and you can tell we're outside because it's a little rainy today. It was a little unexpected. Can you tell who got lost on the run this morning? It's me, the one that looks like a wet dog. But before we start, you know what we got to do. I think you hit him with the pledge.
We got to
Eric.
hit the Pledge of Allegiance. New Balance celebrates runners of all levels and styles.
Yeah.
They believe there's no single right way to run, just your way. If you run, no matter the distance, the pace, or the frequency, you're a runner. New Balance, run your way.
Wow. That was really
I'm wearing it.
well done.
I believe in it. I really believe in it.
Yeah. Oh, that was great. Yeah, Chris texts us that every morning just so we can read it when we wake up and then to you at home. Guys, we had an incredible yesterday event all around. I think we had a couple finals in the field as well. I want to make sure we say that. But we saw the 100-meter final. I mean, that was the race, I think, of the week almost, maybe. And what'd you guys think?
Yeah.
Loaded question. We're getting real introspective here.
But let me get in.
Yeah, sorry.
I had front row tickets to the Caitlin show afterwards. Like the hype after the race was almost better than the race.
Yeah.
My ears are still ringing. I don't know how Jamaican
people
Twitter
were
went.
actually walking
She
by.
called it out. Yeah,
people were walking by
looking
just
up.
stopping.
Yeah.
They were all like, there was a
It
huge.
was pretty amazing.
There
She
was a
didn't skip
throng
a
of
beat.
people.
Yeah, she
gathered
did
around.
not skip a beat. Like she didn't
No.
mince words. She didn't say She was on a heater.
Yeah.
So that was entertaining. But I mean, obviously, it's incredible. Like my perspective on it is probably different because you guys are so used to having like top end talent.
Yeah, dominant
on
sprints.
display. Yeah, whereas like I think our fastest woman this year in Australia isn't in the final. So
Wow.
like to put that in context, like we're still running incredibly well back home. But yeah, you guys, the spread was amazing. But Sha'Carri just came out and just bossed it. It was her race. We talked about it the whole way. It was her race and she dominated.
It's like probably the most hyped up event, especially with Sha'Carri, and it actually like lived up to the hype.
Right.
10-7, and and she dominated, but it was still the top three was like 10-7, 10-8, 10-8, 4. Like it was such an amazing race. It lived up to the hype. So much fun to watch.
Yeah, they were all right there, and we were sitting, right on the backstretch there, and we got to see the start really of it. I didn't really realize, as someone who is primarily more distance focused and interested, I didn't realize that you can not get out that well. Like her start isn't always incredible, but her the finish is where she just dominates. No one can compete. I mean, I was moved to tears seeing her celebrate, and what I loved is I think anyone could look at that race and say, oh, Sha'Carri, world champ. Why is she excited to win the Olympic trials? No one maybe realized as much as her emotionally how much that meant. She was ecstatic. I mean, she looked like she was moved to tears, and I think sometimes people don't realize how much these meets mean to people, even to a world champ.
I mean, even though she is the world champ, you still have to make it through the trials to get to the Olympics, and so you can't just overlook it and take it too lightly. And you could tell she was not doing that at all yesterday. When her top end speed is just so good that she can have some subtle mistakes in the beginning. In her prelim, stumbled out the blocks, shoe untied, but when she's at full flight, no one can match that, and it's a good weapon to have in the back pocket for sure.
Yeah, back end speed's incredible. Top three also training partners.
Yeah,
all from the same squad,
and that makes a big
How
when
sweet
you're
is that?
when you're out there with your training partners and you know that your biggest competition is the person that you're with every day training. It's a whole different level of confidence, and it puts you kind of at ease when you're in the races. And I'm sure that when she's been there, it's a daily thing for them.
Yeah.
It's comfortable. She knows that, and you kind of I'm sure they're all lifting each other up out there.
Right.
Like they see each other doing it. They want to make that team for Sha'Carri. Sha'Carri wants to, help them to make it. It's a whole different thing when it's just you out there with your training partners.
And the contrast, right, of the walkout. They're individuals, right? I love that contrast of here we are as individuals in our own lanes, and then the finish and the reconvening and the hugging and the celebration. Those two different emotions, I think, is the journey that we feel as fans.
even the walkout's mad as hell. That doesn't happen like anywhere else across the world. I hope you know that. Like that hype of like the whole stadium silent, and it's like handling number 6, and you're like, oh shit, here we go.
The Sha'Carri walkout was good too
so
because
epic.
they everybody got like just the camera shot from the entrance to the tunnel, but
She had
like
the
she
tunnel.
got the tunnel and
Yeah.
she got like the camera was at her back in the tunnel. Like it really added like a whole. It was a very theatrical event out there, and it felt like
Yeah.
it.
Just in terms of that, like talk about the hype of the 3 training partners. Now leading into Paris, do they get any time to individualize training? Because like as cool as it is that your 2 competitors are those you spend every day with, if you're trying to beat each other and you're in each other's pockets every day leading up to Paris, like how do you find a little bit of an edge against like you said, it's individual, like love each other, hug each other, kiss each other that you all made it through. But competitiveness, like how do you find a little time to yourself to maybe get ahead ever so slightly?
I don't know.
Can you? Like,
probably. I mean, they're not gonna. I don't think they're gonna change anything up at this point. But you look at like what like Melissa Jefferson, like TT Terry, like 10-8, 10-8-9. Sha'Carri doesn't have a whole lot of room to, because she ran fantastic, season's best in 10-7.
Yeah.
Like 10-8, 10-8, and 10-8-9. That's incredibly fast. So Sha'Carri delivered with a really good race, and if you aren't on that day, you're close to getting beat.
Yeah, and it's like, obviously I think we know Sha'Carri is dominant, and Sha'Carri knows Sha'Carri can win. How much do Melissa and TT Terry think they can win? Are they just fighting for second? Are they like, okay, who's going to get silver? Is that on their mind, or is gold on the mind?
Yeah.
I think that's tough when it's your training partner, and in practice, you see, with other athletes, you don't see maybe the work they're putting in or they're hiding it. You see Sha'Carri at practice, and you see how fit she is. I think that can get in your head a little bit.
Gold's definitely on their mind,
Yeah.
but I think it's one of those things. I'm sure they're lining up and they're like, I want to win, but they're satisfied, but they're happy to make the team.
Yeah.
Oh man, sorry guys, I'm really feeling it
You
today.
got 2 coffees.
What's going on?
What the?
Look, I got lost. I
Wow,
told you.
sick.
When did she even put that
Must be
order in?
nice. Yeah.
No, I just
couple of
looked
text
at
messages flying through.
Justin saw my
shit.
raccoon eyes, and he was like, "Yeah, another one."
Oh,
the hell?
all right, I need to start making eye contact with people other than Eric.
Yeah.
Just stop looking at
I'm
this
like,
guy.
hey, bud, can you stop looking at me? I don't know what you want. I'm not getting you
Feel
another coffee.
uncomfortable.
Jesus Christ.
Oh god. Well, we saw that.
So what coffee's that?
Oh, now we're another coffee. Let's see. I
Yeah.
will say, I'm not gonna lie.
It's a bit Irish
For
to
me,
me.
it's all about,
Oh.
for people at home, your coffee's gotta be the
Hold
right
on.
color, and you know that. You're very particular. You
What the
you get
hell is going on?
you get the wrong color coffee, it's gonna ruin your day. This is what I wanted.
So did you-
And this is what I got.
okay. So you texted Chris
Yeah.
on the sly,
Yeah.
said, this coffee sucks. I'm going to need a new one.
Double up, Chris.
Unreal.
Send this
Leave
shit
it for
back.
these dogs.
Sounds like
Yeah.
eggs in the morning. Jesus
Oh no, I
Christ.
spilled.
He's
I think
fussy.
it is a latte though. To be fair.
I'm just going to put it out there. Like American coffee is trash as shit.
Alright.
It is so
Why
bad.
so? Why so?
It's just so bad. It's quick. There's no art. There's no love to it. You just like slap it in and away you go. Whereas in Australia, we take our time. We like to curate the beans. We like to make them feel loved, feel welcome. It's
You're pissing
it's a
in my
system.
pockets right
I'm
now.
not. I'm telling you, come down under. You'll have a good coffee. It'll change your life.
All right.
Rock your world.
I do believe that. I do think there's a lot of good things over there. But here, I think what you're describing is the pace of life. I mean, that's like just the New York way. Get it, got it, go.
No, I'm saying the coffee shit. Yeah. Straight up.
No, I think he's being
Straight up,
pretty
it's
clear with what he's
Trash.
saying.
All right, I'm
I'm not
trying.
mincing.
Oh,
I'm fighting for my life as a
I'm not
Midwestern.
mincing. Yeah, I'm not mincing the words.
Oh man. Well, okay, guys, back to the 100. But I think we got to move on to the men's 100 because what we didn't see in the women's is the Yu-Gi-Oh card presentation.
Oh, yeah.
That we saw in the men's prelim.
Yeah,
here.
huge lack of Yu-Gi-Oh in the
Was that thing
women's 100.
flying around in there? Like, what's he got in his speed suit to be
I
able
don't
to
know
tuck
what
that
else
in
is
so
in there.
nice? Yeah.
Now, I don't know Yu-Gi-Oh, but I assume that card is sick.
I think it's big
Right.
time. Yeah.
because
it's big time.
because I'm like, God, I wish I was a bigger Yu-Gi-Oh fan. And then
Yeah.
I bet that hits.
Well-
I bet there's the Yu-Gi-Oh
There was
people.
some
Yeah.
good noise on it online.
Right,
Yeah.
People were
Okay.
like, oh
But-
shit,
Oh, he's
that's
got that?
yeah. Like,
To me,
wow.
this is a classic
Yeah.
thing, though. It's like if a tree falls in the forest and no one hears it. If a joke is made and no one gets it,
Yeah.
what was
Is it
it?
weird as fuck? Yeah.
It's kind of weird.
It's not just weird.
No, I hope it's part of a bigger picture. I think there's a chance. I think we've got a couple more races to
It's a bigger picture. Like he's
A bigger card.
He starts going
Next
to
round,
flat
he's like
down.
blown it up. Yeah.
It's like you won't. It's like one of those books that you read.
Yeah.
And you're like, I don't quite get get it, but at the end, it really hits.
Yeah.
Like, this is Noah Lyles, like, in Paris. It's like, oh, I get it. Like, the Yu-Gi-Oh cards.
It all comes
the
together.
briefcase,
It's like
the
pointless,
Yu-Gi-Oh
though.
cards.
When you back up, you're like,
It's a new
oh.
business.
He's a genius.
Yeah.
He's a genius.
Yeah, I think there could be, but he came out. He was dominant. We love someone who can perform even with the frills. You know, I think you come out, you do something goofy like that. If you can't match up to it,
Straight up.
Okay. Wow.
Straight up.
I love how the second
I like
card is
it.
hitting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
First, the
Goofy,
Yu-Gi-Oh card was
yeah.
sick.
Yeah.
Now it's goofy as hell.
no, yeah, well,
No.
Oh, he's never coming on here. He's never coming on here.
no.
I love because Noah is the biggest. Noah and Sha'Carri are like the biggest stars in track right now, and so there's so much pressure on them with these Olympic trials. Like Snoop Dogg's sitting with Noah's mom at the trials. Like there's so much pressure when you look up and see Snoop's flown out
Snoop, yeah.
for you,
Yeah.
and you're sitting with your family. Like you gotta deliver.
Snoop's like, is that Yu-Gi-Oh card?
Yeah.
what the hell is this guy
Yeah.
putting out there?
Snoop
Yeah.
holds up one too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Snoop's like, that's kind of goofy. Like there's so much pressure on him to deliver, and he's so calm. Like he's having so much fun. Like you see him before the crowd. Like Sha'Carri's a bit more like a bit more serene. Like
Yeah.
like
Oh, yeah.
like you know she's talking to God out there.
Oh, she was up there.
Like
Yeah.
Noah's talking to Snoop.
Shots
Right?
for you, big man.
Yeah.
It was like this, but it was
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
yeah, no, that's true. I mean, different boats to get to the same island. They're both dominant athletes with different processes, and I'm a big boat girl over here.
Yeah.
Oh, Snoop made an appearance.
Oh, like if we could pick a
if we
celebrity?
could pick.
You just pick it. Okay, so any celebrity?
Give me 5 minutes. Yeah. Like track fan celebrity
Yeah,
or
but
just any?
just like anyone.
Did we know Snoop was a track fan? I didn't. Is he
Well, it wasn't
present?
So he's doing-
World
he's
Champs.
doing
Wasn't Travis
for
Scott
NBC.
here?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so you guys have some big names.
Oh,
roll through.
Travis Scott's
Yeah.
here.
Well,
He came here a
was
few
he?
years ago.
I want to
Yeah.
see.
Yeah. Just rolling through. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I know who I want to see, and I want to see Kevin Hart and Snoop because have we seen them narrate the Olympic events?
Those videos are so
They're
would be
so
outrageous
funny. Yeah.
to have them do
I would-
like the steeplechase or something.
I would
think.
get right into
Colin
that.
Kaepernick was here last night. Wow.
Wow.
He didn't get any attention.
Yeah.
No, that was Snoop.
He was just like sitting next to me in the stand.
What do you do?
Wow.
I don't know. Give me time. That's a heated question.
I know it is. It's a
Yeah,
heated
I
question.
don't like that question. I'm not answering
I'm not
it.
prepared for that.
No,
Yeah.
there's a variety of people. You
Yeah.
know, I think anything with some good banter and a comedian. Who doesn't love? I love that Leslie Jones. Right? Do we know that she's going to be? I believe going to Paris. Right? Leslie Jones, and she's going to be narrating. If we saw the viral steeplechase narration she did back in 2021, I love when comedians come in because some of these things are absurd. There's an absurd component, I think, to just any sport and someone who takes something very seriously. And I love when comedian comes in and kind of cuts that tension and maybe says what the common person is thinking who isn't so involved.
Yeah, and what like commentators can't say, right? Because otherwise they get cancelled.
right.
Yeah,
Exactly.
You need someone in there. But I mean, Noah, like he pissed it in. He was a mile. He was gone at 20. Like no one was getting near him. And I like the aura. I like the white kit. I like that he's in a different Adidas
Oh, he's
kit.
got
It
some real
suits him.
aura.
It looks
No,
good.
he's
Pearl
fantastic.
necklace.
I feel like the semis will be pretty entertaining.
Christian
but yeah,
Coleman
he
looked
made a mess
fantastic.
of him. He
Yeah.
was
Christian
good.
Coleman looked really good.
What do you think of Fred?
He debuted,
Yeah,
right?
the Oakley kid.
But was it a re-debut, right? Because wasn't he
Well,
kind
he's
of affiliated with the
he's an Oakley
before?
guy.
Yeah.
But I don't think he's
Yeah.
ever worn
He didn't
the
look
singlet and
singlet.
shorts
Yeah.
before. Yeah, I
Okay.
think it's the
He
first
didn't
time.
look as sharp as the other top guys. Like in years past when he was getting the silver, his top flight is so good and so powerful, but it seemed like he wasn't quite there yesterday. Obviously, he made it through. Got the win in first, which is all that matters for yesterday. But excited to see how he looks today.
Yeah, what are the?
I'd say, well,
I think he's gonna make it. I think he's gonna make it to the final.
We've got the men's final. I think it's the last event as they're doing. I think they know what they're doing here. They're putting some pretty high key races here at the end. But first, what we're starting off with here is the women's 800-meter semifinals. So that's what we're going to be, I think, starting off hot here with at 6:11 p.m. Pacific time. We've got a loaded field. I think it's, you know, we've talked enough about a thing Mo dominating here, but there's some key players here that I think for 2 and 3rd, you know, through their prelims have been looking sharp.
So yeah, let's. So it's the top
two.
Top 2 in the heats.
And
Okay,
then-
here we go. Now we're getting
2 and 3. This makes more sense.
This makes more sense.
Yeah.
Now, these
Yeah.
will make this.
More
the semis are
entertaining
going to
now.
be good.
Yeah.
Right.
This will be a dogfight. And you have a thing in the first one. So she's first up.
Yeah.
Right.
Michaela Rose as well.
Like, you see how now
Oh.
it's going to be tough because you got Whitaker,
Yeah.
Kate Grace, a thing.
What I
like,
see that I like, though, is a thing Mo and Michaela Rose in the same heat. That is going to be so indicative, I think, of the final, assuming that Michaela makes it there. Because I almost am like, it's the experienced, shoe-in who's going to do it, and then you've got the young
Old bull,
spry.
young calf. Yeah,
Exactly.
this is time now. It'll be
Yeah.
such a cool experience for her, right? To be able to
Right.
run in an Olympic trial semi-final with a thing Mo. She'll get the benefit of. I imagine she's going to play like the waiting game. She's just going to watch. She'll be a spectator.
Michaela or
well,
Thing?
I don't know. Like it could get overawed. Like could go to the front and want to make sure that she gets through to the final, or like this is unfamiliar territory for her in a way. So. I don't know. I mean, you guys might be more qualified to talk on it. Like, how do you think it pans out?
I think what we saw from the prelim was Michaela. I mean, she shot out like a cannon, and I almost wish we saw them match up in the final, because I think that would just be an interesting tactic to see how Michaela performs here. We saw her bring that college energy, and I mean, she by far, dominated the first 200, but, as we know, it's a long race. So I think that's what we're seeing here is someone who took it out hot. From the previous race.
Chris is just showing me pictures of Noah and Snoop. He's like, you're gonna want to see this.
Oh man, were they like doing a photo shoot at the end there?
No.
Okay.
We're just hanging out. Yeah.
They're
They were
smoking
just
weed.
hanging out. God. Well, I want to say too, can you go too far? Meaning, like, is this getting in the heads of the other competitors? I just say when you have Snoop Dogg here sitting with your mom.
Yeah, I don't know.
That's-
I said to Chris yesterday, I'm like, I'm convinced Snoop doesn't know where he is. Like, it was up there with the popcorn. He didn't seem too engaged. But
I wonder if this is this Snoop's first track meet?
have to be.
Such a
I would think. Unless
great
he-
way to
What I
start
want to
track.
step in.
Unless
Yeah.
he did track, we don't know. Maybe he was a high.
Yeah,
I
maybe
who
he was
didn't do
cool.
high school
Of course
track.
he
Yeah.
knows. Of course he's like knows
Yeah.
what a track meet is.
Yeah.
But
No,
like,
no.
like,
But was
but
this
this is
first?
like the first one attending. It's a good one to start at.
Yeah.
Sure.
Then you go to like a high school meet after this. It's like this sport sucks.
What is going on there?
Hell? Where's Noah?
What the heck? I just want to know if he's rooting for anyone else. Like, do we think obviously everyone knows who Thing Mo is, but I want to see Snoop just dive in on some of the.
Oh, Snoop's a big Craig Engels fan.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I think he's here mostly for Craig in the 15, and he's also just catching the 100.
Actually,
Yeah.
in Craig's RV out the back is where he's staying. Yeah, he's
Right,
not even in the
yeah.
hotel.
No, they're
he's driven it up from California.
They're making Craig's RV
Yeah.
like a Willie Nelson RV type of thing. I'm sure he's a big Sha'Carri fan.
Yeah.
Oh, it's gotta be.
Would have to be.
Yeah,
Would
he's
have
gotta
to
he's
be.
an idiot not to.
Yeah. Back the right horse there.
Yeah, but I hope he's here. It's a little rainy, so if he's a fair weather fan,
He hits the road. Nah, he's out. Are you kidding?
He's at McMillan's, just posted up watching it on TV.
Was Snoop on the group run this morning? No, he wasn't.
I think he was leading it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
got a bit
followed
haywire.
Snoop. He
out
wasn't.
there.
He was a little. Yeah.
He was out on the trails.
We made a stop
but
to.
he was not running.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was out there.
Did smell funky out there.
Oh man. Well, I do think the 800 heats here are going to go.
Oh yeah, back to the 800
Yeah, back to
heats.
these 800 heats. But Heat 1 versus Heat 2. What are we thinking? It's a big dynamic. We got Ajay Wilson here in 2. We've got Sage Herta-Klecker. Two big names. Raven Rogers. another veteran in there. So
Now this is fun. Like
Yeah.
the top two
Yeah.
is because these heats are now stacked. Like Sage Herta-Klecker looked fantastic all year.
She did.
Raven Rogers looking like she's rounding into form. Olivia Baker, like Charlene Lipsy. It's now gonna be really hard racing and pretty cutthroat in these heats.
Herta-Klecker looked really good in the first round.
She's
really
consistent.
good. Yeah.
She's a really smart racer and has just been up there in every race this year.
Right.
Raven is looking. She's rounding like her last race. She ran 2:01 and closed really well, looking really well. This is her stadium. She's on the tower.
Yeah.
She's won so many times here, so she brings it, and I expect her to come out of this heat for sure.
Yeah, I think too, the 800 to me is it's just so dynamic in that race because you've got strength, right? You've got like Sage who could probably run a great 15, maybe even could, be a contender if she chose to run that event here. And then, you have I will say a thing, Mo, we've seen her run a 15, but you have people historically like Raven Rogers, like Ajay Wilson, who to me, they've hit those times before, but like, to me, in the 800, it's who has been consistently hitting those times because it's almost like a muscle memory. I do think it replicates more of like a 400 than that 1500 strength. I think maybe sometimes you can pull out a good 15 and cut some time, but to me in the 800, it's indicative of what you've been doing immediately and not necessarily a year ago. That's how I see it. I don't think there's going to be any surprises maybe from what we've seen.
No, that's fair. I think that's pretty valid. So who do you think?
You
had to make, because I'm big on like making a call, right?
Right,
Like so
putting money on it too.
Yeah, like
You're like quit yapping and put a
Chris and I
down.
were shaking a few hands last night. 20 on that one, we missed every time. But
yeah,
who do you think rolls? Who do you think
That's tough.
what's your top?
rolls out?
You got.
I'm talking order.
It's
I'm
between
talking two.
it's between Ajay, Raven, and Sage.
Yeah.
Man, I'm gonna say. Oh Jesus.
I'm gonna say Raven and Sage.
Raven and Sage. Oh,
Yeah.
I do like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, you've got the hometown hero here.
And I don't
then
think
you've got-
Aji's going to be far behind. Like I think she'll probably be one of those if it's fast that moves through non-automatic.
Right.
But yeah, I like your point about Raven in terms of like I'm a big storyline guy. I'm a big oh, you've been here before, you've done this before. Like you said, she's on the tower, she's in Oregon, she's familiar territory, she's such a legend of the event. I don't know. I just feel like that's going to carry her through. And Sage to me looked, if not the best, one of the best coming out of the first round. And like you said, the consistency in recent form would suggest that she's going to be really hard to knock off on a good day if she's feeling good. So I'm going to make that as my call. I think those two go out automatic.
Yeah, the Hayward magic is real. I mean, it's cliche, but I feel like I've seen people. It's like that last 100. The crowd from what we've seen yesterday, was that not unreal? People get amped, people get excited, and especially on that backstretch, on the home stretch is where we were. And coming around that turn, I don't see how, if you're Raven Rogers, you can't find that second gear.
Yeah.
When you're back here, you're at home. I'm going Raven. I think Raven's going to take it in the semi.
I like it.
Ooh, yeah,
I don't
I like
necessarily. My final prediction is going to be different, but she's going to take it.
You think she's first?
I think she's first in her heat.
Okay.
I think she's first here. I think Sage plays it a little safer, lets her take it, conserves a little. I think those are the two coming out immediately.
I'm gonna switch it up a bit, and I'll say Raven and Ajay.
Yeah, cool. I like that.
It's just so you could see it going either way. I mean, and you could also see other people from this heat, like Olivia
Keegan.
Baker's really talented.
Right.
There's a lot of people. Keegan, of course. Like everybody's running really well right now.
Well, and we're talking about that 400 strength, right? Immediately after, we've got the men's semifinals in the 400, and from what we've seen from Quincy Wilson, it's going to be a show.
Yeah.
We've got him recently, breaking that under 18 record. What's that?
Okay, Chris is yelling.
Snoop is here.
Yeah. Snoop.
Get Chris a mic.
What's
Chris
up?
was like, none of this has been working. I got to get in there.
No,
So-
he's glued to that phone.
I know Lyle's
What's that screen time?
watching the show right now.
Hey Noah.
What's up,
He
man?
sent
Did you
a
like-
message to us. He said,
Oh, no.
I will be doing the fashion walk-in today with Snoop Dogg.
Oh, that's pretty epic.
And he said, I will also reveal what is in the briefcase during the walk-in.
Oh,
Okay, so
shit.
the Yu-Gi-Oh
Okay.
card wasn't the briefcase. There
what's
was
in there? What's in there?
There was a rumor.
Say it
I
now.
don't know what's in there.
I know you don't know.
Yeah.
Tell me what you think is in there.
Wait, guys, what if he wasn't going to do this until we provoked him?
Yeah, he's like, shit,
Yeah.
now there's some pressure.
Well,
Yeah.
there was rumors that the Yu-Gi-Oh card was the briefcase, which made no sense to me.
We did talk about that last night.
You didn't see them in
Yeah.
the room at the same time, though. I will say the Yu-Gi-Oh card and
I'm like,
the briefcase.
I'm like, what?
Got to be in the same geographic location. Yeah, they're separated.
Wait,
it's
what
not
do we
real.
think? What do we think's in there? Is it related to Snoop?
Wait, is he doing the walkout in the
With
semis?
Snoop?
Be-
No, it'd have to be
It
for
has
the
to be the
final.
final.
It'd have
It's
to
gotta
be
be
the
the
final.
final.
Yeah, it
It's
has to
gotta
be the
be,
final.
yeah.
I would think.
That's huge.
I don't know.
Is he going to
What do you unveil? Like, it has to be something that's. It can't be big.
It's like-
another card.
Yeah.
Snoop's
No.
next album?
I don't know.
I honestly
Oh,
can't
shit,
even
that
imagine.
would be
This
cool.
is sick. This is really awesome.
This
But
is what we
also,
need. This is what we need
now
more
that
of.
Now Noah's walking out with Snoop.
Yeah.
Are they just gonna let everyone walk out with
Yeah.
someone?
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Eric's out there.
Yeah.
What's
No,
up,
like,
guys?
like,
Yeah.
are they gonna let?
Eric's with Fred.
Yeah.
What are they gonna let? Like the other.
If Fred
athletes-
does want to walk out partner, I'll stand behind Fred.
Yeah, Mitch is
I'll
available,
rock with
Fred.
Fred for sure.
Oh
yeah,
my
Fred.
God,
Can I
Nick,
ask
see?
you
If
this?
you're
As a
watching
guy-
Fred, I'll come. Yeah,
as
I'll be
as someone
there.
who's competed here at a high level, and you know what it's like to have all the eyes on you. How are you walking in with Snoop? I just mean, are you following
What
Snoop?
song plays?
Is
No,
Snoop following
There
you?
has to be a
like
there has to be a
There-
Snoop Dogg song in the background.
Well, of course there's gonna be.
Yeah.
Snoop, yeah.
Dogg.
It's not
what,
gonna
no,
be-
but what song?
yeah.
What's going on?
Oh man.
yeah, set it up for us. What
Maybe
does it look
just
like?
maybe it's just Snoop's verse in California Girls. That's such a hit.
Oh, that's a hit.
It's such
With
a
Katy
hit.
Perry?
Does he have a
Oh,
live
yeah.
mic?
Yeah.
Does he have a mic? Is he
I bet
going
he
to
has a mic.
freestyle?
Yeah,
he's
I
going
bet
to
he
do
has
it.
a
Oh, it's like
mic.
Grammy
Yeah.
style.
I
Like
bet
he's.
it's gonna be a
a-
mic.
Yeah.
I hope it's a long walkout. And
Yeah.
are they gonna let Snoop
From
walk
the-
directly onto the track
from the
or
warm-up
just
track?
to the
Shit.
just to the track?
No, I reckon he goes to the tunnel, end of the tunnel,
End of the tunnel,
and then
yeah.
Noah
That's what
comes
I mean.
out. Yeah, he comes out.
Wait, like a
yeah.
proud parent,
Yeah.
like
He gets on the blocks.
Yeah, that's
he's like,
what I
oh
mean.
shit, sorry.
The other
That's not my
competitors are
part,
trying
yeah.
to like get in the block and stuff, and Snoop's just like Snoop's rapping,
Like,
chin and
damn,
juice.
this guy stinks. Yeah, get this guy away
Yeah.
from me, please.
God.
Yeah.
But that's what I mean is. Not like, is this fair? But I just mean, if you're anyone else in that race, do you not kind of feel like a chump?
Nah,
you didn't
I
walk
love
in
it.
with anyone.
Oh no, it's
No,
it's
I'm
awesome.
so big
Yeah.
on
But
it.
like it is.
Yeah.
Be distracting.
It's
Yeah.
a bit distracting,
It'd be
but,
distracting.
but
Yeah.
also you gotta win.
Yeah. Yeah, you got Snoop there.
No.
Imagine that. You're in the booth, or like you're in the
think
race,
Snoop's-
and you're just
yeah.
like, okay, man, yeah, let's go. And then Snoop
Right.
just chewing your ear off. He's like, all right, man, I'm ready to
Jeez,
rip.
I just
yeah,
want
get
a
ready
Snoop
to run.
Dogg prep talk. You know what I mean? Like, is that? Don't you think that's got to be
Be one of the
something-
best.
I think Snoop. I wonder.
Yeah.
Snoop should make a new song for this.
For Noah Lyles.
Drop
Yeah.
a Noah Lyles
Yeah.
name.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what's in the briefcase. If he wins, it's
Like
like,
his-
a new.
yeah.
It's a release about
Because
Noah Lyles and
Sha'Carri's got
Snoop.
the Drake shout out.
That's right.
Yeah,
yeah, like which is huge and an
Yeah.
absolute banger.
Oh, yeah.
So, my God, yeah.
Yeah, I think there's.
Thanks for that, Noah. By the way.
Yeah.
Glad
Hey.
you're watching. Yeah.
Wow, I didn't.
I can't wait to see what's in the briefcase.
Yeah.
What's in the briefcase is going to be big. So that's on tap for today. There's so much to look forward to. Just to know that Snoop's going to be here again. I think we're all going to dress a little better, right? I'm gonna go home, clean up.
No, this is it. This is what he gets. Yeah,
Yeah.
this is what he gets.
He's like, I wonder if I'm
Yeah.
going home. It's Snoop.
Snoop, put me in the next music video.
Better look good. Yeah.
Come on, I'll be dancer number
Yeah.
7.
But yeah, this
Yeah.
men's 400. Yeah.
I was
Oh,
going to
yeah.
bring it back.
Yeah, back to the
Quin-
floor.
okay,
Quincy
William,
Hall? Sorry, yeah,
Do
you
we
go
not
first.
think? I mean, how can you not be as Snoop in the audience? Not to bring it back, but I think to me, a 16-year-old kid in this race here, you've got Snoop, you've got the whole ambiance. I'm gonna keep saying, take a shot every time you hear me say Snoop.
Yeah. You've got Snoop. You've got Colin Kaepernick.
Yeah.
You have Travis Scott in years past, not this year. Who else you got? Anyway, yeah,
What-
you're Quincy.
How do you feel if you're Quincy
I
lining
think
up
you
here?
feel excited. I just
Yeah.
think it's like a moment for him now where he can just. We were kind of talking about it last night, like the kid in the 100 that made his way out of the heats. Like that's a big win to get yourself out of the first round. I feel like mentally that's such a great check mark. Obviously, he has some pressure on him. Like I feel like the world is kind of watching him now. It's like, oh, how fast can this kid go? But I mean, whatever happens for him today, what a season he's had.
this
But
is- yeah.
I think he just runs free.
It's just this is a cherry
Yeah.
on top of just an
Yeah.
unbelievable year. No, I think he's should be just enjoying this. I think he is.
Should be proud of himself,
Of
yeah.
course, he's proud of it. Like he's just ran, the fastest time for a high schooler. Like he's making it through. I think he's got
Yeah.
no pressure. He's got no pressure to like. He's already exceeded everybody's expectations.
Yeah.
He's having fun out there.
I always say this, like I feel like this about these all-star high school athletes is, and this is maybe my own just projection of, he's also like had an incredible rate of excellence compared to just other people with more experience, right? They've been through more negative things. They've gone to darker places. They've had, screw ups, and that's in them. Someone like Quincy Wilson has just been successful. He almost doesn't know what it's like maybe to fail. And I think that's sometimes like a competitive advantage. This guy doesn't know how to lose. He's always been the best.
It's a great point. Like, how much confidence do you ride off the fact that you're always at the front? I wonder, for someone like Quincy, like who does he reach out to for this, right? Because not every athlete goes through this hysteria of being a high school phenom. And this is, again, from an international perspective. I remember when Matt Boiling was coming through as a high schooler, and he was the shit. Like, even internationally, like, his name was blown up. Like, I wonder if Quincy... You know, he's going out of semi number 1, Matt Boiling, but I wonder if Quincy talks to someone like that. It's like, hey, man, how do I deal with
and hopefully they're
what
not
the hell is going on
He's
here?
like, shut up, dude. You're in heat too. What?
I'll see you in the final.
How many? What's the? How many qualify?
Top 2 and
top
3.
2,
Okay.
but
Two
my
and
question
3.
is, he's got to reach out to someone. But don't you think any of those mentors are people in this race?
Yeah, like that's what I mean. Like who's talking to him? They're like, yeah, man, I just wouldn't go out too quick.
Yeah, is it Michael Norman?
I just stay
right?
back. Yeah, I would just stay back.
Is he in the heat with? I was gonna say Michael
No,
Norman, right?
So he's got Vern. He's got Vernon Norwood, who's experienced, but Michaal Norman's the last
And we've got
semi.
Norman, who won Worlds in 2002, and he's got just an incredible PR. I believe it's 43.45. That's what I'm reading here from my notes, and. I think it's someone like him who does have things to lose, but Quincy's looking up to him. I'm sure if he could make a call, it'd be to his fellow competitor. Hey, how do I run this? And well, not how, but see at the end maybe.
And Caitlin was saying that Norman isn't quite at 100%. He's dealing with a couple, not just one. Like it sounds like a few different injuries.
He alluded to that. Yeah.
And he said that after that first round. And as a competitor, I'm sure, like, usually it's the opposite. Like, guys only admit that they're kind of banged up after the race.
Yeah.
Right.
He's just, so he sounds like he's dealing with some stuff, but you see him run. He's so good, and he looks fantastic, and I think he's someone, I expect him to make that team.
Yeah.
He just looks so good. I think he doesn't need to be 100% to make it. Because he dominated that first prelim. He's been here a bunch of times, so even if he is banged up, I think he's still the guy to beat.
Yeah, my question is, someone like compared to Michael Norman, who I don't know the I'm forgetting how he did at the Olympics. I imagine he's a world champ, so did pretty well. Maybe has the Olympic rings. If Quincy makes the Olympics, I was talking with Anderson on our team about this earlier. Quincy's 16. Can he get an Olympic ring tattoo? You got to be 18.
Yeah, he's the kid who was running the 100 yesterday was inked up. He had like tats all down his shoulders.
How?
Yeah,
he was like 16, 17.
I didn't know.
Yeah.
Oh, so you have to be 18?
Well, I think your parents can come with you and say yes. I think.
Yeah.
His dad's like, no, absolutely
Yeah,
not.
he's like, not those rings. No. Yeah, but that dragon, get that on your arm for sure. That's sick. No, I think, I don't know. I feel like Quincy Wilson is just in such a unique position where it can go one of two ways. It can be, I'm going to feel the expectation of myself, and like he called his shot, didn't he? Like last week when Mac and Chris were there, he was like, I want to be on that team. Like his expectation of himself wasn't just to get out of the rounds. His expectation was to be on an Olympic team, but I feel like he has the liberty now of being able to run free, enjoy the process, and enjoy whatever happens as like an external success. But internally, clearly the kid has that dog in him. Like clearly the kid has that fight in him. So I think everyone will be quiet. I don't think anyone will be dishing too much advice until these rounds are over. But I think I expect all the big hitters really to make it through to these finals and see what happens. Like a guy that I love is Vernon Norwood. Like I've seen him twice now over in Europe in the lead up to this, and such a great guy looking for his first individual team as an Olympian. Wow. He's an experienced guy who might be able to make his way through the rounds, and he's been such a servant of US track and field, and also Quincy Hall in the first one as well. Like there are just some real class guys outside of what young Quincy Wilson has to deal with. So if he makes that team, that is incredible, but he's going to have to go through some brick walls to get there because it's going to be hard. Yeah,
especially at 16. I mean, I don't think I traveled out of state by myself when I was 16. I was afraid. He's going to be traveling, internationally. Even just being, I think, in the Olympic Village. I'm like, is there like an under 18 section? Yeah. Like, I feel like there should be two different parts.
Probably.
Oh God. But even moving on from that, we've got so the men's 400, but then sorry, I'm looking here. We have the women's 400. So right after that, we're launching straight into the final. So we're on track to, I think, see some dominant performances here. Everyone's pouring this into. I mean, it's a final.
Yeah.
So coming out of the prelims, I'm trying to remember who we saw that was like the strongest. Because we saw a few different things.
Shamir Little was really impressive yesterday. And the
Yeah.
conversation was, and she'd said it herself, that she wasn't going to come back for the semis. And then obviously comes out, and we were talking, or no, I wasn't talking about it. I was just listening. But Caitlin was talking about it. She was like, yeah,
Come on, you couldn't stop
I did
talking
not
about
contribute at all. I just put the mic down, was like, holy shit, this is amazing. But yeah, Shamir Little, like, she was talking about it. Like, she might be using these as training runs, right? Obviously, because next week the 400-meter hurdles comes up, and like she might go into this final, might very well make the team, and might opt out because that Olympic schedule has back-to-back days, 400, then 4 hurdles, 400, then 4 hurdles. So she looked strong. Don't be surprised if she's the one that gets out like a bullet out of the gun. Like, she's running with nothing to lose. She makes the team, she doesn't. She's going to rock up again next week. Irby Jackson as well, someone who looked really strong.
Oh, she looked really good.
Yeah, and she looked really composed.
Yeah.
I mean, there's only one woman in this field, Kendall Ellis, that doesn't have that Olympic standard. So,
Okay.
you know, 7 of these women can go into this final thinking, all right, if I'm in the top 3, I'm going through. Like, other events, obviously, like the men's 10K comes to mind. Only 3 guys had that standard. So you were waiting for those 3. This, you have a good day, you're on the team.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
This is these are the. I would expect this to be a very fast race. Kendall Ellis could absolutely get that time here. Shamir's looked really good. Isabel Whitaker's looked really good, and she could have a hell of a day herself.
Yeah, and I wonder, I mean, looking at these times, you know, she is coming in with one of the slower times, but again, you know, who's conserving? I just want to know who crossed that line and that was intentional. You know, this wasn't something that, you know, she's looking at that saying, oh, wow, look, I'm 9th on the list. No, I think you bring that confidence, and we're going to see, like you said, you know, possibly all these girls with the standard, you know, we're going to see a fast time.
For sure. Isabella Whitaker as well flew that last 50 to put herself in an auto-qual spot. Like, that was really impressive. She was shocked. I don't know if you saw the reaction, but she was like, holy shit. Like, I'm going to be in this Olympic trials final. Cinderella stories would be cool, but she did it from lane 8 yesterday, so you never know.
Also, what a cool story with Isabella Whitaker and Juliette Whitaker.
Yeah.
You know, sisters at the Olympic trials. Isabella looked fantastic in her semi yesterday. I think she's going to place pretty highly, and then Juliette looked amazing yesterday in the 800 round. So
wow,
what a, you know.
Yeah, how
two
many
sisters,
how for the family,
sisters,
right?
one at UPenn and one at Stanford.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
That is it. What a cool moment to be their family, like to be able to watch like your siblings or kids be able to do something like that. And in 2 really similar events. I mean, does it work in terms of 4x4? Is it like the top 6 go through to your 4x400 meter team, or is that already decided, or they go in the pool? How does that work? Because I don't know, obviously if you're not in that top 3, you're then thinking like, okay, I'm not going individually, but now I might be
There's
on.
still a chance.
Yeah,
I
I might
think
be
it
on
is
the
something
plane
like that,
relay wise.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So I guess that adds another layer to it. But
There's a ton of opportunities for the
Yeah.
400 runners because there's the mixed relays as well. So you have the
course.
standard
Yeah.
4x4, and then you have the mixed relays as well. So almost everybody in this final is probably going to be in the pool. I know that they recently said that it's not a guarantee. It used to be a guarantee if you were in the final, you were in the pool. It's not like that anymore. There's a little bit of discretion. But I think a lot of people in here are showing fitness to show that they should be in that relay pool.
Yeah.
Which is an awesome opportunity for a lot of these runners, especially all the collegiates, as they're looking to, you know, grow their international experience.
Yeah, because you
Right.
got is it half the is it 4 collegiates in here? I'm just looking. Kaylin Brown, Isabel Whitaker, Aaliyah Butler, and Jamisa Ford. Yeah, so that's quite a few college athletes in an Olympic trials final.
Yeah, it is, and I want to know what are the women that don't make the top 3 who are like, you know, maybe there's a chance for a relay. It's like, what does training look like? You know, I imagine a lot of these. We just got dumped on by some rain here, but God, another
Mac's eyes popped out of his skull.
not the camera equipment. Watch the camera equipment.
Yeah, this isn't quite sprinting weather.
Yeah. No, they would have loved yesterday.
Yeah, so this weather, if it stays like this might be a bit slower. You might not see a whole lot of Olympic standards if if it stays like this. But they have run really fast before at Hayward in some bad conditions. I'm thinking about Michael Norman and his last college. Like there was that one NCAA meet. It was like every single NCAA record was going down.
Also, famously, Ashton Eaton, in like the hardest rain I've ever seen here, when he set, I think, the world record in the decathlon. He was out there for the 400. I think he ran his lifetime PB in the hardest rain I've ever seen. And once I saw him, it's one of the coolest track and field photos of all time. It's him standing behind his blocks, just
That's
downpour.
sick.
Yeah.
And
Looking like a Greek god.
It's like, all right,
He's carved out of marble.
if this guy can go out there and run a lifetime best as one of the best, goodness, this rain, this water.
Yeah.
It's like that water ride.
No,
with the bucket.
I think that the moment is bigger than the weather
yes,
for these
yes,
athletes,
you're right, you're right.
and they'll all show up
That's
for
a
it.
great way to describe it. Yeah.
Yeah,
One
I'm
of the
kind of
bigger
like,
than the weather.
I mean, we've all, as distance runners, run in the rain, and it can get kind of old. I imagine with sprints, it's a little more epic because it's a little shorter.
Yeah.
You get that picturesque moment, but so true about the weather. We
Yeah.
may see some affected performances, but great nonetheless. Another final that we have on tap, it's a finals day. We've got the men's steeplechase.
Oh, here we go. Yeah.
So this is going to be exciting. As we know with the steeplechase, it gets a little wet, so this might be,
Yeah, they'll be
on par.
fine. Yeah.
Right. Lots of players, but like we said, it wasn't anything crazy. It wasn't anything that we were like, flabbergasted by.
No, it was. I mean, part of it was choppy as well. I remember that second qualifier, like talking to Evan Jager after, he was like, man, I was really fighting that last 50 over the last jump, so I wanted to make sure I got through. And everybody had the same discussion. They were like, they all anticipate that this final, I mean, like we said, who gives a shit about the weather now, but it's they all expect it's going to be an Olympic standard pace. That's 8:15. So they're all expecting this to be quick. They're all expecting it. And there's guys here that can rock with it. Like Hillary Bohr, Evan Jager are two guys that obviously stand out. Isaac Updike as well. Kenneth Rourke's last year's champion. So the heavy hitters are here, and they're all going to want to get under that time.
Well, Jager needs it, right?
Yeah, he does. So does Rourke.
Yeah, take it.
Yeah, a couple of guys are going to have to make this quick.
Yeah.
And it's not. Don't look.
Rourke's too?
Don't
Yeah,
look
he
at
doesn't have
Rotich, and don't look at Rotich or Hillary Bohr to make it happen,
Yeah.
because
No.
it's not in their benefit
Yeah. Oh,
I
for
thought
this
Rourke's
thing to
had
go
it.
very
And
quick.
Hillary's dealing with that whole foot issue where he's changed his lead leg and like hasn't swapped his feet over, but he's changed his lead leg.
Hillary looks ready though. He was
Yeah.
besides Fred Curley, he's been the fastest person into the tunnel. He after his first round, he went straight into the tunnel, full business.
Yeah, Mac loves
he's
it when guys are into the tunnel.
those are the things I'm looking for. I don't care about
stop in the mix zone either.
I don't care about what you look like
Yeah.
in the
Yeah.
race. I want to see what you're doing right after.
quick
if
you
you're
are.
going straight into the tunnel,
Yeah.
I'm like, okay,
After-
this guy
after
means
the
business.
After the 15 with Cole, he was like, "Get in the tunnel."
Get him out of here.
Stop hanging out outside. You get in there.
Cole's another guy who gets in the tunnel. Mac's like, "I want him in there quicker."
To
Do
me,
not stop.
Is the point of view of that? If it's like who doesn't need to soak up the attention right now because they know they're going to get it later? Is that kind of the POV?
Yeah, it's like
Of
It's like,
who's
just
getting-
get through.
It's like it's
Yeah.
not done.
You're
like,
out
it's,
now.
It's like
Yeah.
okay, like
You're saying
business
if-
as usual.
One more race.
Like,
If
you've
someone
gotta-
lingers,
Yeah.
it's showing that they were too happy to do that. Is that what you're saying? Why do you want?
Why
them
do you
in
want
the
him
tunnel?
quick?
I want it to be a business trip.
Yeah.
I don't want them to enjoy being out there. I want them to be like, okay, that's a prelim, that's a semi. I'm not here for a prelim or semi.
Yeah.
I'm here for the final.
It's the Kobe meme, like job's not finished.
Yeah, job's not done. Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah.
You're going to send a message to people. They're like,
Yeah.
oh, fuck, this
Yeah.
guy does not care about this race.
Yeah, well, I mean, once you
Like,
get to the cool down room,
Yeah.
and you're like, "Where'd Hillary Bohr? Is Hillary Bohr still out there?" No, he's already cooling down.
Yeah.
he's already 30 minutes
Cole was-
ahead of you.
Cole
he's
was
already
quick in the
He's
mix
already
zone.
in the cold tub. He's
Yeah.
already getting a
Yeah.
massage. He's already 30 minutes
like,
more
how's
rested
he getting
than you
the
are for the
massage?
final.
You're still watching. He's like, but he's leaving.
Yeah.
How's he out of the track?
Yeah.
He was not. He did not wait for anyone in the mix zone. He
Lewis
was.
Johnson.
He's already
trying to
back at the
interview him.
hotel.
Yeah. I
People
was
are
trying
un-
to find him.
people are
And he's
trying to
like
put-
already warming down.
They're putting their sneakers back
Yeah.
on. He's
Yeah.
already in bed.
Yeah. Lewis Johnson's like, "Hey, where's Cole Hawker? I need him for an interview." He's like, "Oh, he's getting a massage already. Post cool down."
Oh, Cole Hockey. Yeah, he's gone. Yeah, he's already had dinner, man.
You kidding?
Yeah. This will.
Rooks has the ranking, by the way.
Okay,
He's
so
in the
I
Rooks
thought-
is good.
I thought
Okay.
Rooks was good. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So
Yeah.
he's in the quota.
No, that does send a message, though, of being just a well-oiled machine.
Yeah.
To say that.
It'll be a really interesting final to see who comes through. Another guy who was impressive was Matt Wilkinson. He was really strong in his heats, and he had great things to say, obviously, in the mix zone. Like, very different to what we're talking about here in terms of guys like Cole and guys like Fred who know they're going to be in the final and contend. Like, Wilkinson was a guy who really soaked it up, and he was like, as we see the rain fall again, he was a guy who was like, yeah, look, I was pretty trash coming out of high school. I've had to work really hard to get here, so I'm going to make the pace and see what can happen. And I feel like he's a guy who might get to the front. But Rooks and the likes of that, he's a national champion for a reason. He'll be hard to shake when it comes down to the
Rooks
kick.
looks really good.
Yeah.
I thought he looked strong in the prelim. It would be awesome to see Evan Jager.
I was going to say,
really
where do you see him come through here?
It's hard to say just because he hasn't raced a whole lot.
Right.
He hasn't run, fast, but he's made the final, and he's by far the most experienced. He's probably the best American steepler in history. Like, he's been here so many times, and you would be an idiot to say that he's got no shot at it. If it's, I wouldn't. If you're him, you would probably want someone else to make it a fast race, and you just slip in behind them and kind of let them do it. I wouldn't. If you're him, I wouldn't want to be the one doing all the work and pulling, especially when you guys who have good closes like Rooks and Hillary sitting on you. But yeah, it's going to be a fascinating race for sure.
Yeah, I guess it's different. There's a sense of urgency about this race because there are so many guys trying to get that time, and guys who aren't going to get in the quota, so have to have the time. Like you said with Rooks, he's in there, so he can lean on that if it comes down to it. But there's a lot of guys in here who won't be in that quota spot. So yeah, if Evan can sit. He showed something over the last 400 meters in the heats, right? Like, he still managed to hang in there and push his way through and be competitive. And like, he wasn't polite. He put his elbows out and said, "Get the hell out of the way! Like, I want to get through." So if he can do that again, I don't see why he can't be on a team.
Has he said? Has he alluded to? Is he going to hang up the shoes in the steeple after this?
Didn't say anything.
He hasn't said anything.
Yeah, didn't say anything. I don't know. Like, I feel like I can't speak on it. I've never been at that level.
Yeah,
but I've never been at that level. Yeah, I can't announce that. But he's. I feel like he's just a competitor. Like, I feel like until he knows that he's got everything out of himself, I don't even think teams are what it is now. That's the metric for him. Like, I feel like maybe now it's just like, have I got it all? Have I tapped everything in this well? Yeah. And he looks like he's still got something to prove.
He still loves it.
Yeah.
He still loves it, and he makes a team.
Right.
He'll keep rolling.
He'll
keep rolling.
Why would he hang it up? But what if, say he does, say he's like, I'm going to hang it up on the steeple. What event would we love to see him in advance beyond this if we were to see him continue on?
Could be a nice 10K guy, but I think it's got away from him now. Like, he's too old to run fast.
No.
Not at that level, but like he could run a good one.
I mean,
he's on the roads.
Yeah.
Maybe that might be it. Like, maybe that's just it. He just goes, if I'm not steepling, I'm not running.
Well, I mean, it's
It's
not like he can retire from steepling and be like, oh,
next
my legs are a bit old for the steeple. Let me move up to the 5K. I think I'm done with this. Let me go. Oh yeah, Grant Fisher looks like an easy guy to take down. It's like no. When you retire from this, you're done. Maybe the 8.
15.
Like
15 looks easy. That Yared guy, I can get him.
Man. I guess it isn't the gateway. Yeah,
maybe that's it. Maybe that's
he can run some marathons for fun.
But not a team.
But we've seen some crazy things in the marathon. I mean, as we know, not to preview the women's 10K, this is far beyond, not today, but we've got Kira D'Amato, who, is, upper 30s, has 2 kids, took 6 years off almost, I believe it was. And not that, obviously Evan is still competing at a high level. I mean, I think we can see more of that on the men's side. I want to see, people like Evan dabble in a longer event and see what happens. What?
He is very floaty.
I want him to have...
Yeah.
That's
I don't
fair,
think the
not
naviculars
efficient.
will hold up.
Well, he was, because his...
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he's had a whole lifetime of steepling. Those got like the feet are banged.
The Achilles
up.
aren't good.
Yeah.
Achilles are not well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and to your point, if he does hang it up, he'll go down as probably the go to the event. Yeah, like Olympic
He's
silver medalist,
had
like,
like
8-minute guy.
Right.
He has had a career that others could only dream of.
Yeah.
I
Right.
mean, it's been unbelievable.
It's been unbelievable, and maybe to equate it to something. And one of my what? What are you gonna say?
Yeah.
What? Oh.
No, I'm just remembering a night where Eric, Evan, and I had like a couple of tequila sunrises.
Was that indoors? Oh yeah, indoors. What year was that? Yeah, 26. Yeah. Good night.
Yeah, it's a
Oh,
little hazy for
Yeah.
her.
Yeah. I'm like,
Eric's like,
what?
you're going to have to really be more specific. Yeah.
What the hell?
Can you narrow it down to a
Really more specific.
I've never met the guy.
If he makes the team or not, Eric and I will have a couple.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
No, Jager's,
And that's the only reason you'll have them.
Yeah.
That's
No.
it.
Everyone loves Jager.
Yeah, but we see someone who's my personal favorite, like Jenny Simpson, take her stab at the marathon, this past winter. And, obviously she's a gold medal caliber athlete in the 15. I think it's awesome that she tried her hand at the marathon, but I do think some people may not want to, their ego may not want to go out like that, And I think that just shows maybe how much of a competitor she is. She wants to compete, but I agree. He might just want to hang up the shoes and end somewhat on top. Yeah.
I think it's to go from, like, you've had a career as long as Jager, and then to be like, okay, now I want to start doing, I want to be an elite marathoner. Like, the marathon is like a whole different sport almost. And the training required to do that, especially like Jager's he hasn't raced a lot in a bunch of because of his health.
Yeah.
Like, it's taking a lot just to get to the line. The marathon, it's like very hard. You see, like, guys, it's like the hardest part is getting to the line at 100%.
Right.
I just don't. I don't want to say having Jager doesn't have a career in marathoning after this, but it's like probably doesn't have a career in marathon.
It's a hard adjustment.
It's a brutal adjustment.
Yeah,
I wouldn't like.
it's a hard
I don't think he would
change.
want to do it.
Yeah. I
Right.
guess it's also like a legacy piece as well. Like, if he were to end it here, it's like, oh man, Evan Jager, the steeplechaser, what an absolute legend. Whereas, like, if you continue on and it maybe doesn't progress the way you hope, like you do step up to a marathon or something and it doesn't work out, it's like, I remember when Jager went to the marathon and just got clapped. Like,
We're like
that was brutal.
Evan Jager, like the best American steepler in history, and then he like tries to run a marathon. We're like, he was all right.
Yeah. It just doesn't fit the narrative.
Just to bring
It doesn't
down
fit the
his
conversation.
other credentials.
Yeah.
No, that's fair. I think that's fair to say. And like you said, we've seen on the women's side. I mean, this sport is not for the weak. You have to be strong. You have to be willing to risk almost like it's like sport injuries that we see in like soccer and basketball. I mean, people have ACL tears here, and you really have to be durable. So. I think that makes sense.
Let's stop forcing Evan Jager to maybe
Let's
do the
just celebrate.
marathon.
Yeah. Celebrate if he makes a team
Come
today.
on.
I'll tell you who has the loudest supporters here today will be Joey Berriatua.
Yeah.
His whole
Joey
fam is
Berriatua,
here. He's got the shirts. He's got it all.
I know. I'm like, I want to get a shot. I'm Team Joey.
Joey Berriatua.
What was
your
that last
favorite runner's
name?
favorite
How do I
runner.
say it? How did he say his name?
Barriatua. Like,
You got
Is that not how you
I think he did say that.
Oh, that's how I say
heard
it?
Oh, I thought he said
Oh.
Joey Barracuda.
That would be
That's
epic.
the call on the street.
That
Yeah.
would be sick if that was his name. I
That
would
would
love
be
that.
a sick name.
Can you
yeah.
imagine lining up?
yeah,
to
it's Barracuda.
Yeah, Mr. Barracuda.
Joey Barracuda.
Those
yeah.
merch
God.
would go off its head.
Everyone loves Joey.
Yeah, great guy. And like he's missed the final every time that he's come to trials and nationals and stuff. So he was actually
Such a good
standing
guy.
next to me when the second heat was going and we were like chopping it up and like he was so invested in what was happening. And I think he realized maybe with 800 to go, there was no way they could get the time. And it was just this emotion of like pure joy. It wasn't even relief. Like he was just so happy. And his first comment was like, man, everyone's come to watch me. He's like, thank God. It'd be so awkward if I didn't make it through. But
Like Snoop Dogg
yeah,
came for me.
he's like, Snoop is here, man.
Oh,
Yeah.
no.
Yeah. Joey's like, shit, Snoop is watching you. Hit me up. But he's he's a guy who might, I'm not saying that he's going to make the team, but he might be a guy who pushes the pace and maybe draws something from Drew Hunter and the way that he ran and like that inspiration of the way that he ran that 10K. These guys are best friends. They're so close. He might just go, you know what? I'm just going to ball out. I'm going to give it.
stop
Yeah, I'm
going
just
up.
going to ball out.
Yeah.
Yeah, all nuts. I'm just going to put it all on display and see what happens. And
Yeah.
I'm not saying he's going to make the team, but I just
We
wouldn't be
heard you.
I just really want to put that out there.
okay.
But I'd love for him to make
Imagine
it.
that's over
But
here.
he might be the one to pick it up and just go, nah, fuck it, let's go.
Yeah, he might, and I think we want to see it. It's 3K. It's a long enough race where I think obviously some things can happen. There's movement, but it's a short enough race where you can make a bold move like that. It could pay off.
Yeah.
Moving on from that, that's when we finish with the 100 final, and I think that's gonna cap it off. We're gonna go right from steeple straight into the 100. So I think it's
Imagine if it was the other way.
Yeah, I know.
Like Fred, it's like, oh, what a show! It's like up next, Joey Barracuda. Here he comes. Like, oh shit, okay.
You just hear playing Snoop's already out.
Yeah. Snoop's like, now sit down. Joey's here. Yeah. Noah, go away. Yeah, it's
God.
Joey time.
That would be tough. It'd be tough.
It'd be tough to follow that.
Yeah.
to follow that.
But
you
no,
can't.
they should let Joey Barracuda come with his own
Yeah.
entrance artist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
right?
would it be?
Who would it be?
Shug Knight.
Yeah. Yikes. Yeah. We get the
Yeah. Fisher.
Suge Knight's
Yeah.
released from prison to walk out with Joey Barracuda.
Yeah. Do you guys know Joey Barracuda?
Yeah.
Oh,
He's like-
say less, man.
Yeah.
Get
No,
out there.
Suge doesn't even
What are you
perform
doing
because
in
he's not,
here?
he's not even an artist.
Yeah.
He's just the
Pure
security guard
Pure
for,
security.
for Snoop.
Nothing's gonna happen. Yeah.
Joey Barracuda
Maybe
stock
it's
will go
Fisher. I
up.
don't know if you know
Yeah.
the DJ from Australia, Fisher. He's an absolute psycho. That would make
Yeah.
sense if it was Joey Barracuda.
Jeez.
That would be a great entrance.
Wow.
Wow, people can get really confused who we're talking about here, but
Yeah.
it's
No, I get it.
hell of a day 3. It's pretty epic.
It's a hell of a day 3.
Yeah.
And it was hard for me to swear on camera. I really tried to.
Yeah, I kind of
replicate
forgot
what you
Yeah, it
about
sounded
that.
natural. Yeah.
that sound
Yeah.
like I've said it before.
Sounded. Where did you? Is that a swear word?
It is.
Okay.
It is, but it
Not in my country.
Yeah.
Not in my country.
Not in your country. That's well, in my mom's
we can-
country
we
it
can get
is.
into
And
that.
she
Yeah.
reminds me that
Yeah,
that's not
yeah.
very ladylike of me.
Yeah. It's my parents say the same thing.
That's not very ladylike of you. But we've got so many races on tap, more finals than I think, or equal to maybe what we've seen so far. But a lot of energy is going to be in this crowd today. Hopefully the weather holds up. It's starting to not mist as much. Splash Mountain is calming down from our rooftop up here.
Yeah.
But we're so excited. You guys tune in for the afternoon show. We've got a special guest. I don't want to allude to who it is, but I think you guys are going to be pleasantly surprised. And Karen, Mitch, Eric. You know my guys, Mitch and Eric.
Eric?
I'll be making
Shit,
I
yeah.
don't give a shit.
Legend of Eugene?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh my God. Go on the Instagram, like that video of Eric so we can get to 4K. We're almost there.
Oh, where's it at? Do we have a
City
do we
is.
have a
I think we're
metric
getting
on
up there.
it?
I think we're maybe 2.5. I think we're getting up there. But go on there, like it. Get this guy in a speed suit for the love of God.
Sounds like it's happening.
Real
It's
lack
happening.
of arse chat today as well. Really left that one off the cards.
Oh my
Where
God.
is it?
Yeah.
We're
You're
like
at 2,688.
All right,
okay,
guys,
I'm not doing quick
please.
math, but let's just start liking it.
I
Get on
bet
there.
even if it doesn't hit, they're gonna force me in. Chris is like wants it so bad.
Yeah.
We gotta do
Oh, we
like
said 2,000. Yeah, no,
Yeah,
sorry,
yeah,
Eric.
just
Put it
for
on.
partial speech. It's just on the bottom.
Yeah.
It's not on your arms yet.
Yeah, yeah,
You
yeah.
know, we'll mix it up. But thank you guys for tuning in. We'll see you a little bit later, and if not, we'll see you tomorrow back on the morning show. Take care.